What's up? So in this video I'll share 11 tips you can use to improve your consistency in the gym. So yeah, let's just start. Tip number 1, have a set amount of times. Tip number 1 is to have a set amount of times per week you go to the gym. So essentially you need to make a rule for yourself. You can for instance say, I go to the gym 3 times a week. I go to the gym 6 times a week. The most important thing is that you actually have a number. When somebody asks you, you need to have a 100% set number ready. Not saying like I go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. You need to have a set number ready. Then you need to have a goal to reach this set number. And you can make it even better by have certain days where you go to the gym. For instance saying, I go to the gym every other day. Or I go to the gym this and this and this day, for instance. And then you need to make sure that it actually makes sense with your gym splits. And that your rest days are split out. Tip number 2, track the progress. So essentially tip number 2 is to track the progress. Here you could for instance have a habit tracker to track the number that you aim to hit. This makes it so much easier to make sure that you actually work out the amount of times per week you say you do. And it can also be very rewarding when you see you actually achieve your goal. It can also show you interesting patterns that you can use. For instance, that you have trouble working out on the weekends or something like that. You can either use the app such as Habits or a physical version. If you use a physical though, every time you see it you'll be reminded to go to the gym. Tip number 3, start small. Tip number 3 is to start small because there's absolutely no reason to go from working out 0 times a week to work out 7 times a week just like that. You just need to go slow and then you need to stay consistent. It's better to do like 2-3 times a week but actually do consistently than to just go every time you feel like it. So essentially you start small and then when you build up consistently you can increase the number. So often you want to increase the number a lot in the start but this makes it really hard to stay consistent. Tip number 4, go with someone. So tip number 4 is to go to the gym with somebody. And this can actually be a lot of motivation. And you can also make your workout better if you work out together with somebody. But even going to the gym with somebody, even if you're not working out together, can actually also increase your consistency. Because if you go together, you have to go, right? So you just need to drive to the gym with somebody, even if you're not working out. You can for instance drive with your parents or with a friend to the gym. And if you can't do that, you can use tip number 5. Tip number 5, have an accountability partner. So yeah, tip number 5 is essentially to have an accountability partner. So essentially you need somebody to hold you accountable for if you actually go to the gym the amount of times you say you go to the gym. So this essentially means now that you don't want to skip the gym. Because essentially it makes it easier to skip the gym if you know that nobody except for yourself will know it. That can mean just imagine if everybody in the world knew every time you skip the gym, then you'd obviously go as much as possible. If you want an accountability partner, you can join my Discord server completely free and I'll personally hold you accountable on your goals. And the server also got many other great benefits that normally cost hundreds of dollars, but right now it's completely free. Link in the description. Tip number 6, train at a certain time. So essentially tip number 6 is to work out at a certain time. It doesn't have to be the same time every day, but it should be a set time for the different days. For instance, every Monday you go to gym at 5 p.m. It could also be dependent on when you get off from work, but you just need to have a certain time you go to the gym. Having a certain time can actually help increasing your consistency a lot, because then you won't say, oh, I'll just go later. Then you have to go when it reaches the time. Tip number 7, make it easier to go. So essentially tip number 7 is to make it easier to go to the gym. And this could for instance be taking everything you need to go and packing it in a bag before you have to go. So when you have to go, you just need to take the bag and leave. So essentially the easier you can make the progress of going, the more likely you are to go to the gym. So essentially they say that going to the gym is actually the hardest part of the gym. Now if you do this tip, you make the hardest part of going to the gym easier. Tip number 8, enjoy the workout. So essentially tip number 8 is to actually liking the workout you do. And this can actually help massively because working out for most people is just a hobby. And you obviously want to enjoy doing your hobbies. Because if you do like going to the gym, you'll be more likely to press yourself more. Where if you do not like going to the gym, you'll just go in and do the bare minimum. What you can do here is you can find a type of workout that you actually like. This could be bodybuilding, powerlifting, calisthenics, cardio, high intensity interval training, CrossFit, circle training, or any other type of workout. Just try some different and see what you actually like. Tip number 9, reward yourself. So essentially if you give yourself a reward, you combine going to the gym with something nice. But you need to know that this should never be something that goes against your gym progress. Like for instance saying, now I went to a gym, now I can eat unhealthy, right? The way you can reward yourself is that you can do it after every time, or you can do it after a certain amount of times. So every time, it could for instance be rewarding yourself with a protein shake or an amino acid shake after every workout. Because the smart thing is that this will also give you the gym gains from the shake and you'll feel rewarded. After X amount of times is that you give yourself something bigger, like for instance gym equipment or some clothes. After a certain amount of times you've gone to the gym, for instance maybe 30 times in the gym. And this essentially gamifies the task of going to the gym, and now you're gonna go more often so you get the thing faster. Tip number 10, give yourself a why. So this is easily one of the best tips on the whole list here. And this tip can be used for basically anything, not just going to the gym. It can be used for entrepreneurship, weight loss, or anything else that you want to do. And I think this is an underrated tip that not a lot of people talk about. But you need to have a why, aka a reason to go. You need to make a document and then you need to write down every single reason to do what you want to do. So here, when it's the gym, you need to think, what do I actually get out of going to the gym? This could be a certain body type, enjoyment, or health, or anything else. Then you need to write all of these down. Then when you feel like skipping the gym, you just need to read this paper again. It does, so it's not just like, if I go, it will be hard. If I don't go, it won't be hard. But now instead, if I go, it'll be hard. But if I don't go, I'll lose out of all of my benefits. So it makes it a decision. Do I want to go and get all of these benefits, or not go and not get these benefits? So you actually think about the benefits of going to the gym. Tip number 11. See yourself as a lifter. So this is the last tip of the video, and it is to reshape your identity. You shouldn't see yourself as somebody who more or less occasionally goes to the gym whenever you feel like it. You should see yourself as a lifter. You could also see yourself, for instance, as a bodybuilder or a powerlifter or whatever you like to do in the gym, because you need to realize this is who you are. This is the identity you want to shape. So doing this will increase the enjoyment. For instance, instead of thinking, I am a person who sometimes goes to the gym, you think, I'm a bodybuilder or something like that. It'll make it much more enjoyable to go to the gym. And that's pretty much all for this video. If you like this video, you can like it. If you want, you can even subscribe to my channel to get more of this into your YouTube. And if you haven't done it yet, you can join my community right now. You'll get so many epic benefits worth hundreds of dollars completely free. It's practically a no-brainer to do. And that's pretty much it for all this video.